Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Before we dive into glycolipids, let's quickly recall that phospholipids come into two flavors based on their backbone. The glycerol-based phospholipids like the phosphatidylcholine and the sphingosine-based phospholipids like the sphingomyelin. This distinction is important because glycolipids are actually derived from the sphingosine pathway. So let's take deep dive into the glycolipids. Glycolipids are hybrid molecules, part carbohydrate, part lipid. There are two different components in its structure. They are built from the ceramide, which is formed by attaching a long chain fatty acid to the amino alcohol sphingosine molecule. Think of ceramide as an anchor in the membrane. Glycolipids are more precisely called glycosphingolipids because they contain sphingosine molecules. So glycolipids are molecules that contain both carbohydrate and lipid components. So glycolipids are derived of or derivatives of ceramides in which a long chain fatty acid is attached to the amino alcohol sphingosine produce ceramide, like the phospholipid sphingomyelin. As you can see in its structure, there is a molecule of ceramide, produced by either one of the component is the carbohydrate and the other is the lipid. So what is the difference between glycosphingolipids and sphingophospholipids? Here is a key difference. Sphingophospholipids contain phosphate, while the glycosphingolipids contain no phosphate. Instead of the polar head is a sugar molecule, mono or oligosaccharide attached via the O-glycosidic bond directly to the ceramide. This makes glycolipids neutral or acidic in nature, but never zwitteric like the phospholipids. So what are the types of glycophospholipids? Glycosphingolipids, right? So based on the sugar content and charge, we classified them into neutral or the acidic. The neutral contain the Cerebrosides and Globosides, and the acidic glycophospholipids or the glycophospholipids contain the Gangliosides and Sulfatides. So let's explain each of them. Right? So very first one is the Cerebrosides, right? Cerebrosides are the simplest glycolipids, just ceramide and one sugar. For example, the galactocerebroside contain galactose plus the ceramide, found mainly in brain and myelin sheath, while the glucocerebroside contain the glucose and ceramide, act as an intermediate in the synthesis and breakdown of more complex phospholipids. So cerebrosides are abundant in nervous tissue, hence the name shows, right? So what about the neutral? Neutral glycosphingolipids are the globosides. Globosides are ceramide oligosaccharides. They have two or more sugars. They are built by adding sugars to the glucocerebroside. Example, lactosyl ceramide that contains ceramide plus the glucose plus galactose molecule, right? So these are found in extraneural tissue like red blood cells and are important in blood group antigens. The next one is the acidic. Acidic contains the gangliosides. Now we enter the acidic world. Gangliosides contain one or more molecules of an acetyl neuraminic acid, NANA, also known as sialic acid, which gives them a negative charge. For example, ganglioside GM2 found in ganglion cells of the CNS, especially at the nerve endings. They are critical for cell signaling and recognition. So what about the importance? Accumulation of gangliosides leads to the lipid storage disorders like the Tay-Sachs disease. What about the sulfatides? Sulfatides are sulfated galactocerebrosides. The sulfate group makes them negatively charged. They are found predominantly in the brain and kidney. Defects in sulfatide metabolism leads to disease like metachromatic leukodystrophy. As you can see on your screen, the classification of the glycolipids, right? So what is its importance? So let's wrap up with the glycolipids matter clinically and physiologically. Major constituent of all cell membranes, especially the lipid rafts. So they are components of bile, help in fat digestion, anchor some proteins in membrane via GPI anchors, signal mediators involved in cell recognition and growth, components of lung surfactant, those reduce the surface tension. They also components of the lipoproteins involved in lipid transport. So, to summarize, glycolipids are basically the carbohydrates plus ceramide. So, no phosphate, unlike the phospholipids. They are of different types: Cerebrosides, Globosides, Gangliosides, and Sulfatides. So, they are found abundantly in nervous tissue and cell membrane. So, clinically relevant in lipid storage disease. So, next time you hear glycolipids, remember they are not just sweet, they are essential for life. Thank you very much for your attention. If you like the video, share it with your colleagues and share this channel to the other your fellow members so that you never miss the upcoming lecture. Thank you once again.